What is up, fellow developers? My name is Tyler Potts, and in this video we'll be creating this product detail page where you've obviously clicked on your product and you can see what product it is. You can have your options here. So we've got the capacity, so you can pick between 64 and 128 gigabytes. You've got your price here. Obviously the iPhones are super expensive, so we've added the price to match. And also you've got the colors. And you can swap these colors, and as you click on different colors, you're going to get a different background color and a different image, which is all rendered through the same image element. So you're not swapping out multiple elements. Your code's not going to get too messy. And we're going to see how to do this. And also you've got this nice little fancy animated button, which we're going to go over as well at the end. So if you are ready for this video, hit that thumbs up. If you enjoyed the video at the end, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get into the code. So I have gone ahead and created a folder for this. So I'm going to type in code and open it up. It's definitely going to open up on the wrong screen. Or not. Okay, that's useful. It's not on the wrong screen. We're going to say, we're going to say images, and then I'm going to copy some images, which I have crudely stolen from Apple's resources. They're allowed. You're allowed to use this. They said in their stuff. I'm just saying, just going to use them. There we go. I've got them all here. And the end of these image is really important because it's going to correspond with what we do in our HTML soon. So you can see it's XR-black, -blue, -coral. The actual colors is the most important part of this. So once we've got that, we need 3 pages. We need our index.html. So in here, let's say index.html, and we're going to use Emmet to create the boilerplate. I'm then going to say into the product, we're going to say product detail, or not this detail, and we're going to link a main.css, which we are going to create right now. So we're going to say here main.css, and now we've got that file. We're then also going to give a script source of main.js because we're going to have a JavaScript file. So we're going to create that file too, which is going to be main.js. Nice. So now we've got our 3 files. Let's also up this a little. There we go. Once we've now got that, we can carry on with our page. So we're going to add a main tag. We're not going to bother with a header or footer off this page because that is down to whatever your website has. If your website has a nice header, then just include it. And let's continue on. So we're going to say section.product-detail, and that is going to be the class. So we're using Emmet here. If you don't know what Emmet is, it allows you to write stuff such as class name, enter, and it will set up your class with your class name. This comes baked into VS Code, but if you're using something like Atom, you'll have to install it manually. So in the product detail, we're going to have 2 different divs. We're going to have one called imagery, which is going to have the image in it, and we're going to have one called detail, which obviously going to have the details in it. And we're going to focus on the detail section first. So we're going to say in here, we're going to have a H1. In the H1, we're going to have the iPhone XR. And then we're going to have a H3, which is going to say from, and then the price of the phone. We're going to say from £100 per month, because that's how much that's where Apple's going, and £5,000 outright, because again, that's where Apple is heading with their prices of their phones. We're then going to have our options, and in our options, we're going to have a H2 which says capacity, and then we're going to have a div which says capacity, and .button_grid, because we're going to use that to style it. We're then going to have a button_wrap ×2. And then inside the first one, we're going to have a button with the class of size and selected. And in here, we're going to say 64 gigabytes. We're also going to copy that and paste it into here, but we're going to remove the class of selected and change this to 128 gigabytes. Now, that is looking good. We're actually going to start styling this up. But first I just want to add the imagery parts in as well. So we're going to say image is going to have a source, and we're going to start off with the blue imagery because I think that is going to look nice and strong. And in our alt tag, we're just going to say iPhone XR, and we'll give it a class equal to image. Now we have all of that, we can continue on styling up our thing in the CSS. So we're going to move over to the CSS, and we're going to start off by doing some resets. We're going to say margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. And once we've done that, and we're going to say Montserrat and sans serif, and that is incorrect. It's 2 R's, not 2 T's. And then once we've done that, let's actually just quickly press Ctrl-Alt-T, and I have something called Live Surfer installed. To install this, you need npm installed. I'm not going to go over how you install it, but you can say npm i-g once you have npm installed, and then you could say live-surfer, and this is going to install Live Surfer globally for you. Once you have that installed, you can then say live-surfer, hit enter, and bam, we've got this raw markup here with the reset we just did in the CSS. Nice. So first things first, we want to say product-detail. And in the product detail, we're going to give this a width of 100 VW and a height of 100 VH. You want it to fill the whole page. We then want to say display flex. So if we go back, you'll see we've put it left to right of each other, which is good. We then want to say to the imagery, let's remove this. And on the imagery, we want to say flex 60%. We want to give it a width of 60%. And we want to say padding 50 pixels and 100 pixels. Then going to set the background color equal to 2484E4. And we're going to set the transition equal to 0.4. So when we change the actual color, it's going to change the page. Now this color, we need to take note of all the colors we use because we're going to be reusing them later on. So if we go over here, you'll see this is starting to look a bit better, but we need to sort that image out because that image is starting to overflow our container. So we're going to say image, give it a width of 100%, and we'll give it a height of 100%. We'll give it the object fit, and we're going to use contain. So what this does, it acts like a background image. You can say cover, you could say contain, and this will fit in. We can then say object position top, because this will bring it to the top. We now say animation called fade in. We're going to set it to 1 second. We'll say ease in and out. We're going to say forwards, and we're going to set the animation delay to about 0.5 seconds. We're then going to set the opacity to be 0 because we're going to fade it in. I'm then going to set up a keyframes called fade in, and this way we're going to set up our keyframes. So from here we're going to say 0%, and I'm going to say opacity 0, and then we're going to say 100%, and I'm going to say opacity 1. Now let's go back to the page, and as you can see it fades in pretty nicely. Now at the minute this box is spanning way too far to the right, and that is because we haven't set up the image, or no, the product detail section. So we're going to say the detail. We're going to give this a flex of 140%. We're then going to give it a width of 40% and a padding of 50 pixels. Now if we go through, there you go. We've got the sort of size we want. I think the imagery is the most important part on this whole page. I know normally the price and the name is, but I feel like this image is really bold and it really makes the item stand out. And that's why I have made that look a lot bigger. So in the detail, we have a few elements. We have the H1, and the H1 we need to set a color. I'm going to set it to 212121, which is quite a dark color. We're going to have a font size of 32 pixels and a font weight of 900, not 00. And that's looking better already. We're then going to have a .detail H3 or H2. We're going to set the color equal to 53565A. We're going to have the font size to 22 pixels and the the font weight also at 700. And we're going to set the margin. Actually, we're not going to mess around margin detail 2. We're going to actually set detail 3, or H3, sorry, detail H3. And in the H3, we're going to also give this a color of 5356 and a 5A. We're going to give it a font size of 22 pixels, a font weight of 300, because I want this to look lighter so it contrasts with the title. And we're going to give it a bottom of 50 pixels. Now, if we go over and we have a look, you can see this is what it's looking like. And I think this looks fantabulous, if that's even a word. So, you know, and we have this nice looking opacity button here as well. So let's continue on. So we have set up that, and now we need to set up the button grid. So to do this, we need to go in here and we need to say .button underscore grid. Button and no, sorry, we need to do the grid first. Why am I typing in wrap? We want to display this as flex. We want to give this a flex wrap of wrap and a margin of 0 pixels minus 15 pixels. We're then going to go to the button grid.button wrap, and we're going to set this equal to flex 150%, and we want to set width to 50%. And we'll give it a padding equal to the same we minus from as 15 pixels. We then want to set the button up to be display block width 100%. Those two contradict each other, but you know. Padding, and we're going to set appearance to none, border to none, outline to none, background to none, cursor to pointer, and then, oh wait, did I set border to none? I wasn't supposed to do that. I was going to say outline to none. Then we want a solid border. We're then going to set the color equal to 212121, the font size equal to 20 pixels, the font weight equal to 700, and finally a transition of 0.4 seconds. Great, so let's go over and have a look. I think they're looking pretty good. And that is the base styling for all our buttons. And they're looking good. Let's add a hover effect. So now we want to say button on hover. We just want to say box shadow, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 8 pixels, RGBA, 0.1. Go back, and on hover you can see there is a really subtle but really nice looking hover effect. And then now we actually want to target the button dot size, because the one with size is one we want to target to add in that really nice gradient border. So we're going to set the button size to relative and a c-index of 1. We're then going to set the button dot size after equal to content, an empty string, and give it a position of absolute. And we actually want to do this for the before as well. So we want to say button dot size before, sorry. Probably should be the other way around. There we go. Absolute, we're going to set the C index equal to, well, we're going to set these separately because we want one to be different from the other. We're going to set the top equal to -3 pixels, the left to -3 pixels, the right to -3 pixels, the bottom to -3 pixels, and then we're going to say the background color. Oh, actually, we're going to set these separately too. We're just going to say transition 0.4 seconds. Now we want to target the after specifically, and we'll give this a C index of -1 or 1. want to give this a target of -1. We're going to give it a background color of #FFF and a border of 2 pixels solid EEE. 3 pixels solid EEE, sorry. Now if we go back, you'll see we've also now got a border, which obviously we had a border on our button originally. But this border now matches our gradient. We now need to just say button.size before we want to say C index 1, and we want to give it a gradient called background image linear gradient. We're going to set to right, and we're going to say ED008D, and we're going to say 8D00ED, you know, simple color coding there. And now if we go back, you'll see we've got this effect. And that's because I did this the wrong way around. That should be 1, and this one should be 1. There we go. And also, no, this should be -1, this should be -2. There we go. Now, let's continue. So now we want to say button.size.selected before. We want to set its top left and right position equal to, or not before, after, sorry. We want to set it to 0, 0, 0, and 0. If we go back, you'll see this one is now selected. And we're having a little, it's like a bit of grey left in now. I'm not sure what that's from. Is that the border? Did I do the border wrong? Yeah, so the border wasn't supposed to be there. That's why I did a background color. So now we have that, and we're supposed to set the background color or border color in there. So there, and then we could have the border. It's going to be 3 pixels solid EE. Was that always there? Oh, maybe it was. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. So we've got that now. And that's all we needed for the button size. Now we just need to animate when we click between them. So let's jump into the JavaScript to mix things up a little. We're going to say window.onload is equal to a function. And we're going to basically get const capacity underscore button else, standing for elements. And then we're going to say document.query selector all, and I'm going to say .capacity .size. And now we're going to say for let I equal 0, I is less than capacity button.else dot length, and then I plus plus. We're then going to say, we're going to say let button equal. I'm going to get this, and I'm going to say I. I'm going to say button.add event listener, and we're going to say click. So we're listening up for a click. We're going to say function. And in the function, we're going to say document.query selector. And we're going to get this. And we're going to say dot selected. So we're going to get the selected one. I'm going to say dot class list dot remove selected. And then we're going to say this dot class list dot add selected, and hit save. And that is all we need to do to swap between these, to select our buttons and have it animate. So there you go. That is the first button done. The next buttons are the more exciting ones, the ones where we're going to change the color of the background and of the image. So let's head back over to the HTML and actually set up the HTML for this. So underneath the capacity button grid, we want to say H2, and we're going to say colors. Now under the colors, we're going to say dot colors dot button underscore grid, and go header. We're then going to give it another button wrap, and we'll times that by 6. I think that's 6. Is there 6? How many was there? Images. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I was right. And then in each one of these, we'll say button with the type of button, the class of color, and then we'll give it color. We're going to say blue for all of them just for now. We're then going to give them a data color, and this data color is going to be equal to the hex code we want to give them. So if you remember, our blue one is 2484E4, and that is the color it's going to get. We also want to set a data name. This is what we're going to use to get the data in JavaScript, and we're going to set this one equal to blue. This data name needs to correspond to our image name. And then once we've got that, we can set in here, I can say blue. Let's actually break it down a little. There we go. Also going to hide the sidebar there. So we can say blue. This one is going to be red. I'm just going to say red in there and red in there. And the color is going to be AF1E2D. We're then going to get the next one, which is going to be, I think we could do yellow. Yellow, and this one is going to be FFCE00. We're then going to get a coral. And we're going to set coral. And we're going to say this one is equal to FF6C37. Oh, did I do that right? FF6C37. Yep, that is right. We're then going to do a white and a black. So we're going to set this one equal to white, white, and you guessed it, it's FFF, FFS. We're then going to get black, black, and we're going to say 0000000. And then we've got to write the names in it because I forgot to do it on the way down. So we're going to say yellow, I'm going to say coral, I'm going to say white, and the final one, if you guessed it already, it's going to be black. And let's go over to our code, and there we go, we get these nice looking buttons. Now we need to actually set up, because blue is currently selected, so we need to go up here to the blue and say selected. Now blue is selected, but we also need to go into our main and actually style up the button. So this one is actually going to take a little bit more time. So we're going to say here, we're going to say colors dot button wrap, and then we're going to say button dot black dot selected. In this case, we can just say black dot selected. We're then going to give it a background color equal to 212121. And I actually think we're going to do that in here so it's not pure black. There we go. So we're going to say background, and then we want to set the color equal to FFF. So that is one color set. We then say colors dot button wrap dot blue dot selected. We can say the background color is going to be equal to that one right there. And then we're going to set the color equal to FFF again. Now, normally when you're making a product or a e-commerce system where you have products, you would obviously be pulling this data in from outside. You'd be pulling it in from your system or from your database. And when you do that, basically you could look for the data color and set these automatically or via JavaScript. But for this purpose, we know what colors we're using. Actually, why don't I just copy and paste this? So we don't really need to actually change anything. So we're going to set here AF1E2D, and we're going to say yellow. Okay, so we're now going to say FFCE00, and this one's actually going to have a 2121. Oh, 212121 as the color, because yellow and white don't really go well together. Finally, we're going to set up white. And white is obviously just going to be FFF. Actually, we're going to set it as FFF, EEE. Maybe, yeah. I think we're just going to set up as EEE. Just because, obviously, when you hover over it and there's going to be nothing to it, you know? You won't know it's selected. Oh, and we also need to do coral. So we're going to say here coral, and we're going to set this to FF6C37, and again this is going to be white. We've actually set black up here. I don't know why I set it first. I was meant to do blue. We're going to save that. We're going to go back, and we've got our buttons, but again we need to actually click them to change stuff. So let's again go into here, and we're going to copy this, paste up here, and we're going to say color button elements. So we're going to say colors dot color, which should give us our buttons if I am correct. Colors dot color, which are buttons, and now under here we're going to say for let I equals 0, I is less than color buttons at L dot length I plus plus. Now we're going to say let button equal color buttons I again. We're then going to add the event listener, or add event listener, which is going to say click function, and then we're basically going to copy this and do the exact same thing in here. So we're going to say, instead of this, we're going to say color, oh no, wait, that's colors, and this one is colors and color dot selected. We're going to remove it and we're going to add it to this one. So let's go back, and now when we click, you can see it changes to what it should be. The white is really bad. I don't know how can we make the white, how do you make white look good? You know what, I think this image changing is what's going to make it look good, so, and actually make it look like it's changed. So let's go over there and let's do that. So in here we're going to do a few things. We're going to actually get up here, we're going to say const, oh that's const, imagery underscore L, and we're going to say document, document dot query selector or just query selector, and we're going to say dot imagery. We're going to get imagery element, and then we're going to get the image element. So we're going to say image underscore L is equal to document dot query selector. We're going to say dot imagery dot image, and that's going to get us the image element as well as the normal element. Now this is literally a couple of lines of code to do this. So we're going to say image dot underscore L, wow, that did it automatically for me, dot source is equal to, and we're going to say images, xr hyphen, then we're going to say plus this dot dataset dot name. Now this thing I'm pulling out here is corresponding to the data name we set on the button. So we're going to use that, and we're going to get the name, and we're going to put it in here, and then we're also going to put dot .png at the end. So if we save this and we go back, you can see the blue fades in, and if we click red, it moves to red, yellow, coral, white, and black. The only issue is it doesn't match its background color. And to fix this, we're going to say imagery L dot style, what? That's not, dot style dot background color, and we're going to set this equal to this dot dataset dot color, because we set the color inside of our data on the button as well. So now if we go back over here, we refresh, we click the red, you see it transitions over to the red, the yellow, wow that's really bright, the coral, the white, and the black. And I'm actually going to make the, oh god that really hurts, see the white, I'm going to actually make this save, go back, refresh, click the white. There you go. I think that actually looks better than having it plain white. The reason being is because the white then matches this, and it also matches the phone perfectly, and we don't want it to match the phone. We want it to be a colour variant. So this yellow isn't the exact colour of the phone, neither is the blue, or the red is really close actually. The coral or the black, because they all don't exactly match it, and I feel this being white would really match it, and it wouldn't look great. So that's me just justifying why I'm not deciding to do anything else with it. Let's move back into the index, and let's go just under the buttons. So we've got the buttons and then the button elements, and then we're going to say button dot submit, and we're going to say add to basket, and we're also going to give this a type equal to submit. And let's have a look. So that is now here, and that's actually already gained its own styles. I feel like it needs some more styles though. So let's go down to the bottom here just before they fade in, and we're going to say dot submit. We're going to give it a margin top because it's too close. We're going to give it a 50 pixels. It doesn't need to be too close. Then I'm going to say background image, and we're going to set a linear gradient. We're going to say to right, and we're going to give it transparent. Now, the reason we're giving it transparent is because we want to be able to not see it. So we're going to give the background though. So we're going to give this 50%. We're then going to give it ED008D as its second color, also at 50%. We're then going to say transition 0.8 seconds. Now if we hit save and we go back, you'll see it's actually not how we want it to be. You can see it's like 50-50. Now to fix this, all we need to do is increase the background size to double what it currently is. So we say background size 200%. And if we go back, you'll see that the gradient is no longer there. The gradient's actually sitting right over here where you can't see it, just outside of the button's reach. We're actually going to set the background position to be 0%, 50%. Now, once we've done that, it's as simple as saying submit, hover, color equal to FFF, but the background position needs to be 100% because we want to move it 100% to the left. And now, when we come back, we can obviously switch our things. And when we hover the basket, you can see the gradient comes straight over. Wait, that's not a gradient. That's just a solid pink. I've missed something here. So this is going to be 50%. We then need another color, which is going to be our 8D00ED, which is going to be up to 100%. Now, if we go back and we hover, there you go. Now you've got an actual gradient coming back and forth. We've got the white, black. Wait, oh, I went on black and it looked white for a second. Maybe the image didn't load as quick as my eyes saw. So we've got the blue, add to basket, the different changing elements, and that is how you do it. Now, to make this mobile responsive, we're not going to do this in this video, but all you would have to do is set this to be from flex row to flex column. This will flip this underneath, and then that would pretty much already be there. Maybe on mobile you'd have to set these underneath each other or put them inside of a select field, but that would ruin the effect of this. But that is this video. That's how you create a detail page where you can select multiple different changing, and it's interactive, so it does a lot of different things. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button with notifications on. And finally, if you guys want to join a community of other like-minded developers, then come join our Discord server. The link's in the description, so is the source code for this video. Peace out.